welcome to ET Now Startup Central, India's first and only daily show dedicated to startups and entrepreneurship. I'm Chandra Shrikant, joining you live from India Startup Capital, Bangalore. Krishna, what do we have this Friday?
That's right. Let's first take a look at all the headlines that we're tracking here on ET Now Startup Central. First up, a look at all the top deals this week on our Friday funding meter powered by Venture Intelligence. While the funding tab continues to flow, investors are giving smaller amounts in a bid to make startups spend money more efficiently. A markdown in Flipkart's valuation may be sending jitters, but are the fears gripping the startup ecosystem justified? We get you an exclusive and handy tips from the best in business at the Venture Intelligence Annual Summit, Apex. Ola has taken its fight against Uber to the Transport Department in Bengaluru. It's lodged a complaint against Uber still plying bike taxis. We have a startup guru on the show as well. Serial entrepreneur and startup evangelist Ravi Gururaj shares 5 tips to make that perfect pitch. And in our special segment, Starstruck Ace Shuttler Saina Nehwal talks about investing in startups, gives us names of apps she's hooked onto. Straight up, it's time for our weekly funding meter, Chandra. The week gone by saw 8 deals worth $23 million. Let's take a quick look at the top VC investments that was witnessed. First up, we have Icertis with $15 million of VC investments over the week. Ninja Kart got about $3 million. Kart Rocket secured about $2 million, and Love Cycles, who we do have featured on the show, got about $700,000, and Dunzo got about $650,000. Those are the big VC investments as far as the week gone by is concerned. Not just that, B2B e-tailer India Mart attracted funding worth $22 million over the week, and famous ticketing player Bookmyshow.com managed to make an acquisition over the week. The acquisition of Fantain Sports. Keep in mind, Bookmyshow is going big as far as sporting entertainment and bookings for sports is concerned. So very clear as far as their growth strategy and their future plans are concerned. Chandra, what do you have next lined up for us?
Krishna, in recent weeks, tech stocks in the US like Twitter, Square have taken a hit. Also, the sentiment is coming down because Morgan Stanley recently marked down the valuation of Flipkart. But what can entrepreneurs do to really navigate the current environment better? We put this question to a panel of experts at Venture Intelligence's Apex Summit. Here's some handy tips that entrepreneurs can use.
Can you raise money at high valuation now? No. Will you be able to raise money at obscene valuation next year? Perhaps yes. Last year, if you have raised money, great, congrats, well done. Keep the money locked up and see how to execute now. Make that money last for longer and longer period of time now, because the next round may not happen in the next 12 months. Lot of talent is available. People value security of a job now more than what they were valuing last year. You will get better quality talent now. Plus, it has become difficult to raise money. Your competitors are not going to take up big ads, big billboards like housing.com and all of that stuff, okay, right? People are not going to do that. So money is getting valued, which is great for you, because you are not going to get some guy who went and raised from some Russian hedge fund or from Chinese company $5 million, will spend $1 million TV, nada. That's not happening, okay? So it's a great time. So your competitive intensity is lesser, availability of people more.
I've always believed that Indian entrepreneurs are actually very focused on creating value. It's only in the last couple of years that this whole hype around valuation has sort of crept in. In fact, the challenge we investors always had was, are we going to, is the entrepreneur going to be willing to sell his company 5-6 years from now and give us an exit? Because most Indian entrepreneurs think for the long term. They want to build value. They want to own this company in the long term. So my advice to entrepreneurs is stay focused on, are you selling a product or a service that people want and are willing to pay for? And are they willing to pay you a price that you'll make money on?
Good businesses will find money. Good businesses will find exits. So build a good business. Make sure that your business model is robust. Make sure that your unit economics work well. Make sure that your organization structures help you to scale these businesses. Make sure that your IP is strong and protected and defensible. And I think those things, if you do all those things right, I mean, you just can't control the market. So focus on what you can control and build those businesses well, and you will find money.
Intrinsically, the nature of the product challenges that I have undertaken are very risky. It may happen, may not happen, may happen in 2 years, or it may even take 5 years, may not happen at all. They're also capital intensive. You have to put up plant, you have to invest in R&D equipment. So because of the risk profile, I've always taken the view that I must have an alternate revenue stream constantly, because manufacturing, we're also taking debt from the banks, by the way. We're not only dependent on equity. Fortunately, we are backed by land and physical assets and so on, unlike a lot of the recent companies, which are more service sort of asset-light ventures. So from our point of view, risk mitigation is very important. You must have cash flows early.
If you just look back also at maybe businesses can be a little more frugal, and in a sense we already have a role model there. We already have what you could call the Banya or Marwadi or equivalent, not just those communities, but many other communities have a way of business which is very frugal. And there are elements that we can just imitate from that, which is, I think some of our younger companies need that frugality right now. And I think they should imitate some of that.
One, you need to know what you don't mess with. So, if there are labor issues, tax issues, am I going to invest from this jurisdiction, that jurisdiction? Honestly, you don't want to waste your time creating good law. Two, where there are disruptive technologies, do take informed risks, because that's how you will change the market.
Away from that and on to our special segment, Budding Star, where today we feature Love Cycles, a comprehensive tracker for women. After having clocked over 6 million downloads in across 190 countries, the app has been launched in India with a Hindi language version, apart from raising 5 crore from prime venture partners. And as we told you, over the last week, they in fact secured VC funding worth $700,000 as well. Add to that, we have Rahul Dayama, who caught up with John Paul, CEO of Love Cycles. Take a look at this conversation.
We now believe that there is a huge opportunity in India. Smartphones are everywhere, definitely in tier 1 cities, booming in tier 2 cities. And we felt that now is a good time to go after the Indian market. And today being International Women's Day, we felt it's the perfect time to launch here. And as part of that launch, we are also announcing this Hindi support inside our app.
All right. You've also raised funding from Prime Venture Partners, 5 crore rupees there. How do you plan to utilize these funds?
There will be some amount of effort spent on branding, market, helping the market understand the need to do this and so on. But a chunk of our resource will continue to go towards product, iterating on that, innovating on that, and making sure that we delight our users.
How did you really manage with limited resources for you to go out and put your product out there and have people accept it?
Yeah, so that is one of the reasons why we focus on the international markets, apart from the point of device penetration in India, is our ability to monetize. And once we start gaining traction in these regions, we have used a bunch of monetization techniques in the form of in-app purchases or even ads within the app, and those did generate substantial amount of revenues, enough revenues for us to even be cash flow positive. Wow. Right? So, and that's what sustained us so far. But we really believe that the opportunity here is not just in the ad space or any of those. Those can be switched on and switched off at any point in time. We really think that this is a data play, and it's the strength of the data that we are capturing on our end that will help us better the product and also help the user experience eventually. Right?
Revenue streams, going forward, what sort of revenue streams? I'm sure you have some sort of an idea. Would you look at partnerships with a few agencies of that sort? Again, I know you're saying you can turn it off. Right. But, revenue-wise, how do you see this model?
There are a range of hooks that we have that we are already aware that we could use. You already mentioned ads. It could be in-app purchases for a premium experience in the form of higher accuracy or more data for users or the power users who need them. It could be in the form of association with other brands who are synergies with us. While we are very, very clear that these hooks are available and we will have controlled experiments in each of these space, we will be focused on making sure that we build a fantastic product that delights our users.
Away from that, to 2 cab aggregators who seem to be fighting mad. We're talking about Ola and Uber, who are fighting this time over the regulations concerning bike taxis. Now, while Ola has withdrawn bike taxis, it's complained to the Transport Department that Uber hasn't. forcing the transport department to seize Uber's bike taxis in Bangalore. Rahul spoke to Transport Commissioner Rame Gowda in Bangalore. Let's listen into the latest in this slugfest.
We have seized 62 bikes today, Vijayanagar, Yashwantpura, and then even in Indiranagar, other places. But they have violated clearly permit conditions. They have to go before RTA, then they have to obtain permission from there and license. And they should be yellow board, not white board. And then they should have the badge for the rider also, since it is a transport and it is a commercial vehicle. See, if anything goes wrong, so ultimately they should be responsible, no? That's why how many bikes are operating. So the department should also know, and then that's the responsible antecedents of the driver should be known to everybody. At least aggregator should know the antecedents of the driver.
While Ola has temporarily stopped it, Uber is still plying its bike taxis in Bangalore. How will you go about it, sir? They're not listening to you. They're continuing with this service. They're saying it's a pilot. What action will you really initiate against Uber?
So, see, we have to take certain action against them. We'll seize all the vehicles which are under Uber. And Ola has completely stopped. They should realize they should respect the law of the land. It's a question of safety first. So they have to make an application first. Then RTA will consider.
Uber in some trouble over there in Bengaluru. Moving on to another special segment here on the show, we have Ravi Gururaj, the man who dons many hats, serial entrepreneur, angel investor, mentor and chairman of NASSCOM's Product Council. Now, if you're a startup, you should listen to this because he shares with us the secrets of how to pitch it right to investors. Take a look.
I think the first thing that founders should think about is they should nurture a network of investors that they're building a relationship with, so that the day you need funding, you already have a reasonable Rolodex. They're familiar with you. They've been interacting with you in different forums. It might be events, it might be meetups, it might be casual meetings where the investor was present for some other event. That's very important, I think. That prevents you from having to make a cold call, which in itself has very low odds of success, right? The second thing, when you're actually in the pitch, and let's say you've got to a VC or an investor and they're willing to take a meeting, you're now going in, you've got to understand fundamentally that investors see lots and lots of pitches every day, every week, and fundamentally the presumption is that you're going to be a no. The third thing would be, is there a technology secret sauce built into this, right? The fourth thing would be, what traction have you achieved so far? Have you put together a prototype? Have you built part of the team already? Do you have a couple of early customers? Do you have some other deep research or some other secret sauce again that gets you there? And the final T for me is a summary of those four, building a sense of trust. The investor has to have trust because they're really jumping over a chasm, a trust chasm in some sense. And you need to have them feel that they can trust you with their money, that they can trust the team, that they can trust your hypothesis of what this is going to be built into. That's a very important thing, okay? So I'd say if you can get through that, you've got through three of the big hurdles, right? The fourth is, really to try and make sure you are in the meeting with them, leaving them at the end of the meeting with a sense of, if I don't fund this person, I think somebody else will. It's that little bit of wow factor you have to leave with the investor.
We certainly hope startups were taking notes there. But moving on, what is Friday without some celebrity action on the show? And Krishna, this Friday we have Saina Nehwal, who's not talking badminton, but is sharing her plans to invest in startups and also tells us about the apps that she's hooked to. Listen in.
You need to have a lot of time for that. It's not easy to. I'm sure even the Bollywood celebrities you're talking about and Sachin sir or Yuvraj sir, they must be busy with their career, but also there must be someone who is managing them from behind. So it's the same thing. My dad is doing that and he's helping me out with this. If he finds something very interesting, and of course he has to look after my future also, that it's good. So I'm sure he will take a good decision on that.
Lastly, Saina, do you track the startup scene, so to say, and also so many offers on Flipkart, Snapdeal? Do you shop? Is Saina Nehwal a shopaholic online at least?
I wish I had so much of time to do all that. I wish, even to go out for shopping, my mom does that for me. She's the one who goes out and shops for me. But I really wish I had that time. But these are all very good apps on the phone, and I've heard about Flipkart, Amazon, and a lot of others. Very good brands, and you can get the best of stuff over there. But it's just unfortunate for me that I don't have so much of time to do that. But I'm sure in the future I will have a look in that.
Sports apps, any fitness apps that you have on your phone, I'm sure, which apps that for viewers to know that, okay, Saina Nehwal uses them.
I actually use Fitbit app. I'm with the Fitbit brand, so I use their app and it works really well. And also the other fitness apps which shows about some exercise for abs or legs or something like that. So I keep track of that. And in fact, now things have become so easier that everything is on the app. Everything is on the app.
Krishna, Saina uses Fitbit app, and yes, she still trusts her mother to do her shopping for her. But what do you expect from such a hard-working sports person? With that, we come to the end of Startup Central today and this week. We certainly hope you enjoyed this show.
Absolutely, Chandra. One more thing, that story, that interview made one person very happy, and that is our show producer Neeraj Krishnan, who's an avid badminton player himself and almost played for the country. Thankfully for us, he landed up here in the world of television to produce this wonderful show. Thank you so much for all of those of you who are watching ET Now Startup Central. It's time now for a wrap. Coming up next is Market Watch. Keep watching ET Now.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNow Live. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.